Welcome to Mix 24/7 EDM All Access Show. I'm your boy, Poetry in Motion. That's right, one half of the S&P show. As promised, you heard it on Mix 24/7 EDM Top 20 Countdown with your host, Kiri Taki. We had a special treat for you, EDM family. On the line with us right now is Alfa Anderson from Next Step. Do not sleep. Next Step is comprised of the former lead singers of the multi-platinum, selling, legendary, and groundbreaking band. I'm talking about Chic, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, Alfa Anderson.
Hi, thank you, Poetry in Motion. It's a pleasure to be here, and hello to everyone out there that's listening.
Oh, it is a pleasure to have you on this show, Mix 24/7 EDM All Access. How's your weekend going?
Really well, really well. I take some time off from the regular things that I do and just try to relax, you know. And one of those things, of course, is the gym. I don't go to the gym on the weekends.
I totally hear you. Trust me, it's a struggle at times for me, and I know how it is. I just need to make a little more time for the gym. But I know you're way more busier than I am.
Well, right now we are busy, and it's wonderful to be busy and to be relevant again.
Oh, absolutely. Talking about being relevant, I mean, we're talking about good times. This phrase right here, these are good times. Leave your cares behind. I don't do justice because I can't hold a note, but I mean, I never would have thought about that it would come back around. And oh my gosh, it's like living in the past, but in the future. I'm talking about with Aristo Freaks. Next Step. Alpha, can you tell us a little bit about the thought that went into creating Next Step?
Well, Poetry in Motion, I'll tell you this. Norman and Lucy had been working together, doing some of the Chic reunion type songs. And I had a conversation with them because we were saying, you know, we need to get together and do something. Because at the time, I was a high school principal, believe it or not.
Really?
And yes, yeah, I was a high school principal, and I was, you know, really, really busy and really into that whole, you know, educator's mode. And they just seemed to be having so much fun. I said, you guys just wait. You know, this career is wonderful, and I'm glad I'm doing it, but I'm going to be able to leave this soon. And when I do, let's get together and relive those days. Let's do that. And they were into it, so that's how it happened.
Wow. And again, it's just like honor or privilege because it has so much of my past. When all of your songs, when they come on, it just takes you automatically to a happy place. Now, I wanted to touch on for a second because I'm going to go in reverse order. I'm going from present to past. But how did the collaboration come about with the Aristo Freaks? I'm talking about those boys, the funky beats of Max and Shanti. How did you guys hook up?
That was a very fortuitous thing, and we owe this all to Jerry Greenberg. Yes. Of course, we knew Jerry from back in the day when he was the president of Atlantic Records, and he knew, of course, who we were, and was really responsible for the success of many of the artists, including Chic. So when the Aristo Freaks, and he's now, you know, definitely a part of Pacific electronic music.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when they were looking for things for artists really to work with, he recommended us. So we really owe a debt of gratitude to Jerry Greenberg for that. He got in touch with us, and we thought it was a wonderful idea. And here we are today making music together once again.
That is awesome. And welcome to the EDM Nation.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you.
Now, I wish I was a fly on the wall. What was it like working with the Aristo Freaks when you were resurrecting the Chic classics like Le Freak and Good Times?
You know, one of the things that made it so wonderful is that we actually did this in Ibiza, which is really a hotbed of clubs, EDM music, and that whole club scene. So that vibe was there. You know, and at first I have to tell you, I was a band person.
Okay.
And I didn't know a whole lot about electronic music. But then when I started hearing it, I said, yeah, this is really great, you know, and those are classic songs, of course, that we had sung on before. And to give them a new twist was really, really wonderful, very, very special. So we loved being in the studio. And it was almost as if we had recorded them within the past year, because everything fell into place. All the vocal parts fell into place, the nuances fell into place, because, you know, not only did we record them, but of course we went on tour with them, so it was there. It's like you can pretty much wake me up at 3 a.m. and I can sing those songs.
Amazing. Now, when you mentioned Ibiza, I want you to compare this for me. Now, I'm going to ask you about the legendary New York club, Studio 54, because it was way ahead of its time, and I will admit, Poetry in Motion was not able to go to Studio 54. But walk our audience through, what was that atmosphere like compared to back then to now?
Well, Studio 54 was the place to see and be seen. You know, they had the best music. The clientele was amazing. There were a lot of things happening there that, well, it was during that period of excess.
Right.
So you know, and you guys can fill in the blanks about what that excess was. I'm quite sure it's not too different from what it is today.
That is so true.
You know, some things never change. So that was just our playground. Okay. For just enjoying ourselves. I must admit that I didn't go a lot. Okay. But the times that I did get a chance to go, I was more in awe of the things around me than anything else.
Wow. And that's just funny how things just kind of go full circle. Because you see it in fashion where something comes out and it comes right back around. And it's the same thing, I'm really going to say, with EDM, because taking the disco era, you know, again, from Chic, it's like it's resurfaced all over again and with a different flavor. And it's just addicting. It really is. It's so addicting.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. That was one of my major concerns, because I'm saying, you know what? We're presenting this to millennials. Mm-hmm. We're not presenting it to Gen Xers. I mean, of course, some Gen Xers, but we're presenting this to millennials. Are they going to really accept this music? And I'm finding that millennials are accepting this music, and I'm so grateful for that. And maybe it has to do with the passion, it has to do with the beat, it has to do with the collaboration. All of those things that just make it work. And people really want to go to their happy place.
Yes. I mean,
they want to go there.
It takes me there automatically. I mean, all day today I was listening to Aristo Freaks featuring Next Step, Good Times, and it's just automatically I'm in an upbeat mood, and it's just so much energy in that song. It's like you would have swore it just came out. That's the crazy part.
Ooh. Now, oh, wow.
Now, I had read that Next Step's first performance was at Pacific Electronic Music Launch Party. Now, Alpha, I'm going to ask you, take me back a little. What was that experience like?
It was wonderful. You know, like I mentioned previously, I was a little concerned about how it was going to work, because I was used to working with a band, and the band went from song to song to song, and there was banter and everything in between.
Okay.
But when you're working with DJs in a dance club where people come to really dance, they're not coming to hear you talk. They're coming to hear you speak through your music.
Right. They
want you to bare your soul with your voice and with your movement, and they want to keep the party going and keep it hot, you know. So we had a choreographer, Lorianne Gibson, who worked with us to put some things together, and we were saying, okay, the acid test will be if we can keep them on the dance floor, not only to the songs that may be more familiar, like Good Times in the Street, but what about the songs that they don't know? What about the songs that we're doing as Next Step? Lo and behold, we kept them on the floor the whole time.
Oh, wow.
And we were like so happy, because that's it. If you can't keep people on the dance floor, mm-hmm. And, you know, learning how to do a set where it's just segueing from one thing to the other, and you're like maybe talking over the segues of the music was a different experience, but it was so wild. I mean, there's smoke, you know, there's the Cirque du Soleil people flying on trapezes, there's the confetti, there's the bass of the trap that's throbbing, so you feel everything through your feet.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, this is different, but not different. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's almost as if we've gone from analog to digital.
Okay. I can see that.
And that's what it was like. So everything is heightened. everything is just was heightened, and we love that, and couldn't have asked for a better audience. I mean, they rallied, they came up front, they showed us so much love, and that's what the music is all about: sharing love. You know, breaking down barriers between people, whether it's between people of different races or people from different religions or sexual orientations, even intergenerational. You know, our music cut across. That's one of the things that we did back in the day, and I'm finding that it still has the opportunity, it still has the ability to do that, to create some type of cultural empathy.
It really does, because it's universal. That's the one thing that made me gravitate towards electronic dance music. Just to go back a little bit, I'm not going to age myself, but I'm a Motown kid, and it was just, I loved all music growing up. And that's the one thing from, if you're talking about disco or if you're talking about electronic dance music, it's universal. You see all nationalities coming together, having a good time, different artists from different national background. Doesn't matter what their sexual orientation is. It's accepted. Right. Yeah, and that's the one thing. It's all love, like you had just said.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just now joining us, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Mix 24/7 EDM All Access with your boy Poetry Emotion. We have special guest Alfa Anderson, best known for her work with the legendary group Chic, I Want Your Love and Good Times. She's one of the female vocal trio in Next Step. You know, you got Norma Jean Wright, you have Alfa Anderson, who we're talking with, and also you have Lucy Martin. Now, we always mix it up here on Mix 24/7 EDM All Access. We always like to have some fun. So I'm going to ask you, Alfa, if you could make one 3-day tour and you had to pick either 3 groups or 3 people from either past or present, who would they be?
Oh, wow. That's a very creative question. Let me give this a little bit of thought. Now, can it be someone who's made a transition already?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit.
Okay. Well, because it's dance music, and I would say James Brown.
Okay.
Because James Brown was the epitome of, he started that whole dance thing. Just some really funky grooves, you know, some great grooves with some great hooks, you know, and great chants. And the way he managed that, I mean, it would just take you up and bring you back down. And when you went down a little bit, you'll rest a little bit, and then he'd bring it up again. So I would say definitely James Brown, because it's for the authenticity of it and for the grooves of it. I would love to hear what people, you know, the younger generation would like that. So the stuff was in the pocket, and that's what EDM music is, in the pocket. So to see the originator of some of these pockets and some of these grooves, I think would be great. And somebody else, you know, that is from another generation, you know, an earlier generation, but I think that she's just fabulous, which she does a totally different type of music. Tina Turner.
Oh, Tina Turner, you took me back. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because she has the energy. She not only has the vocal thing that people like, she does, but she's got a different genre. Definitely James Brown is definitely sort of like R&B soul. Tina is more rock. Right. And she's got the energy of life. You know, she's the ultimate performer. I like her. And you know who I like about among the young people, and I think it's because he works with a band, but he's got an old soul.
Okay, who's that?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. I wouldn't have guessed him. Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that you say it, it does seem like he has a little bit of cloth from the past. If you were Bruno Mars, I mean, he's a talented musician. He has that old school flavor about him, but you got to give him his credit.
It's not really, it's a young energy, but it's an old soul kind of thing. Absolutely. You know? And I know Mark Ronson did Uptown Funk, but that song just slays me.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, it slays me. You know, and that's what I'm talking about, a groove and a hook that's totally undeniable, and it just makes you want to move your feet. And it's right in the pocket. It's right in the pocket. You know, you can groove with it and move with it and soar and forget where you are. There's no time. There's no space.
Real quick, we would like to give a big warm welcome to our friends listening to us in Tampa, Florida on 92.1 FM and AM 1630 through AM FM 24/7 Radio Broadcasting Network. Now, Alpha, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this one question. Thinking back to your experience with the legendary group Chic, name one of the most memorable moments that you experienced.
One of the most memorable moments in Chic was when we did one of our first concerts, major concerts in a huge arena, 60,000-seater. And we were all a little nervous backstage because we didn't know, we had never played a venue this large. And we didn't know whether or not people were going to really accept us. So we came on stage and we started with the Chic cheer.
Okay. And
there was silence. We were met by silence. What we didn't realize is that it's such a large arena, it takes a while for the feedback to reach the stage. So when it finally came to us, it came as a roar. Oh, wow. And we smiled and we were so happy. And then when they were taking us off, we were actually in one of the little carts, and they were taking us off. The crowd went crazy. They were screaming, they were stomping. It was a thunderous applause, and so much love. And a few years ago, I re-met George Benson, and he looked at me and he says, "I know you." And I told him who I was. He says, "Yes, I remember we were doing this concert together in this venue, and I had to follow you guys. And they brought you back for an encore, and I didn't get a chance to go on when I was supposed to go on." So,
oh, wow.
That was like a real, and I'm like, oh my God, they brought us back, and the great George Benson, had to wait for a moment.
Right. Oh, wow.
That was a wonderful experience for us because you never really know when you're creating how it's going to be accepted.
Right.
You create out of passion, you create from your heart, but you don't know whether or not people are going to accept it or not. And to have that acceptance was just special.
Oh, wow. I can't even imagine. I get goosebumps and chills just hearing the story. It's like, I just wish I was there. Now, speaking of being in a pocket and moving and grooving, let me ask you, what can we expect next from Next Step?
Well, we are in the process of talking to our record company about that.
Okay.
And we would like to do some collaborations. And I'm not going to say who the collaborations are going to be with. But I think that a successful collaboration really is the epitome of what EDM is all about.
Yes, it is.
So taking something that's classic.
Okay.
And a mashup between something classic and something that's really innovative and new, so that you get a little bit of both things. So this is what we're looking to do. We're looking to collaborate because isn't that what it's all about?
It really is. That's going to be epic because that's the one thing with EDM music is it grabs you and you're going to move. You're going to have a good time. Not to sound like I'm making a pun, but seriously, you do have a good time. It's energetic. It's all about the energy.
Yeah. Energy, passion, love. It's all right there.
Yes.
All right there.
All rolled into one. Now, Alpha, if you could do me a favor, can you tell our listeners where they can follow you and Next Step?
Sure. We have a website, which is www.nextstepmusic.us. Okay. We also have a Facebook page, which is Official Next Step.
Okay, perfect. Now, can you give them that web address one more time?
Sure. The web address is nextstepmusic.us, and the Facebook page is Official Next Step.
Awesome. Now, Alpha, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule today for being on Mix 24/7 EDM All Access show. And remember, guys, you can vote for Aristo Freaks featuring Next Step Good Times on Mix247EDM.com.
Poetry in Motion, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you to your listeners. And we're just looking forward to presenting our music to a new generation of dance aficionados.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And we will all move forward and continue to have good times.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I love it. I totally love it. Thank you again, Alfa Anderson.